Hey there! Once upon a time, I got a number 8 Reuleaux nib. I think they stopped making them, but I'm not 100% sure. I just seem to recall Reuleaux stopped making their number 8 nib. B.R.E still does it. The 380 nib unit still exists. They make it. I really only had one pen that was made by B.R.E. That's how I got the nib. I've reviewed that pen a long time ago. It came with a section that had that could take that Reuleaux nib, but it was the only pen I had that could do it. And much as I like that B.R.E. pen, I was kind of looking for something different I could use that nib on, because sometimes I like to switch things around a bit. So I contacted the man, the myth, the legend, William Shakur, sorry, of Titan Pens. And I said, were I to send you that nib, build me an army worthy of Mordor. And he said, Tabula Kamanzi, Atsada. The Emperor commands it. It is done in Sardaukar. Now, we're mixing up franchises here, but in any case, I'm so sorry, it's been a long day already. He said, yeah, no, it'll be a fun project. I think that's approximately what he said. I certainly hope I don't bother him with all these requests, but he seems to be entertained by the idea. So I sent him the nib to the UK. He fiddled with it for quite a while, and this is not a dig at the length of that process. William, please do not worry. I do not care how long it takes. I said, see what you can do. And he did, and he had to experiment a lot because it required making specific threads, and there was all kinds of technical issues involved with that. But then he showed me the result, and it was definitely worth waiting for. So here we have, from Titan Pens, a whole new pen. And this one is indeed triangular in profile, like my beloved Omas 360 Magnum. Has a piston filler, has a number 8 Reuleaux nib, which is, I think, a little shorter but quite stocky when you compare it to a B.R.E number 8 nib. And it is a fantastic pen. Look at it. I love the gray translucent material. I love it. You can see the ink in there. See that? You can see it. Or maybe you can't. I'll try to show it better when I would tilt the camera down. Beautiful threads made there. Everything fits together beautifully. When you cap it, the facets of cap and barrel line up perfectly. It's wonderful. I love it. And it's bigger too. It's a fairly large pen, but it's super comfortable. What he did with this section is beyond ridiculous because it is incredibly comfortable. So today we'll have a look at that pen. I'm sorry for the very long preamble, but here we are. I'm going to cover the parts of the pen. I will do a writing sample, and I will tell you what I like and what I don't like about this pen. Let's do it. Okay, so here we go with my new Titan Pens pen. I don't believe the model has been named, so maybe we can make suggestions in the comments. That would be kind of fun. Anyway, there's no box to show you, and I don't know how much there is to really say about it, so I'll just show you the parts and I'll do a writing sample. Maybe it's interesting to put it right next to a Pilot Metropolitan. It's a large pen, right? It's big, it's certainly oversized, but I don't find it obscene. I mean, at some point, as you know, William did this great exposition for me, a sort of Shakured version of the Conway Stewart Great Exhibition. This is a massive pen, and this is just meant to be incredibly huge. This new triangular pen is specifically meant to not be that. Like it's meant to be really user pen, right? So anyway, parts of the pen. So we have this triangular rounded triangle which has a name, and of course I forgot again, but profile just like an Omas 360. We have this very nice translucent gray material that I like a lot. I think it looks very attractive, but maybe that's just me. I really like that there's a cool engraving on the pen now that says Titan Pens United Kingdom with the Titan logo, which, by the way, also shows up on the titanium nibs that William does there, right? I mean, he doesn't do them, it's Bock nibs, but he puts his logo on them. So we have that. I like it a lot. I like the logo, and that's pretty much it. Piston turning knob. This line, so the lines of this triangle, they align perfectly between the piston turning knob and the barrel, and by the way, also the cap. So that's pretty cool. Interesting profile. It's a piston filler, so you can see the ink in there. It's a substantial ink chamber. I think I clocked at about 3.5 milliliters of ink, so that's certainly quite a bit. And I really like that you can see I'm assuming it's a brass mechanism in there. To me, it looks very cool. I really like that look. Uncap the pen. You have the section which is also triangular but with nicely rounded off facets. And here we have that number 7 JoWo nib that I just think is very, very attractive. There is no logo on it. It just says 18K 750 in broad at the bottom. But I kind of like that very clean design. So I like that a lot. Ebonite feed, which is nice for JoWo nibs because it's just like with Bock, it's typically plastic, but on the number 8s they were ebonite, good flow characteristics, very nice. This section is just incredibly comfortable. Now what I will say is notice that the tiny bit of step down there, it's so smooth and rounded off you don't feel it. These corners, for example, they're not sharp at all. They're just beautifully rounded off. And this section is perfect. Look at how it fits on my finger. It doesn't even roll off my hand. It's really well made, and just grasping the pen like this, the size to me is perfect. Incredibly comfortable. I really, really enjoy grabbing this. It's just very, very pleasant to me to hold and use. Now what you want to see is how it writes. So here we have the Titan pens, name to be decided. Perhaps William has a name now, but I actually forgot to ask him. We have an 18K broad JoWo number 8. I'll put it in there just because it's kind of a special nib at this point, I feel. And this ink is Edelstein Moon Stone, which doesn't fit. I thought that gray would be a good match for the pen. I have always loved this nib because it has just that little touch of feedback to it, which you may be able to hear. I just find really pleasant. It doesn't have that glassy smoothness, but just that nice touch of fountain pen feedback. I just love that. It's a good writer. Consistent ink flow, works really well. As to its wetness, it's fairly wet. Line variation, naturally not an awful lot. It's not meant as a flex nib, but you could maybe squeeze out a tiny bit. I'm not pushing this one too hard though, because it's mine. Okay. Reverse writing. I was quite proud of this ink pairing, by the way. I think it's a good match. Reverse writing, of course, a little difficult to hold this because of the faceted grip. And as you can see, it doesn't really work. It goes through the motions, but it's really just scratching into the paper. It's not that it's super scratchy, it's just no real ink is coming out. So I wouldn't use it for that. I do think they're still available in some spots. Some people still have some stock, so do a quick Google search for JoWo number 8 nib. I don't know what they're called. I know the Bock is the 380. I don't know for JoWo. You might be able to find one. Some places I saw a couple left in stock, but do that if you really want one. And that's it. Fantastic pen. What we should talk about is likes and dislikes. Beautiful. What do I like? What do I not like about my new Titan Pens pen? Well, for me there's a lot to like, but it was pretty much designed for me, so I should like it. It ticks all the right boxes. It's a larger pen, but it's not obscene. And I hope that when you saw it next to, say, Pilot Metropolitan, you kind of agree. It's large, but it's not ridiculous. And I think that matters. We see a lot of really big pens these days, but some look very disproportionate, and that, to each their own, but I'm not a huge fan of that. So that is really nice. I love that. I cannot overstate how comfortable this pen is. Triangular, but with these sort of, what we call that, hourglass facets, but in triangular design. It's so pleasant to hold. And of course, William did his due diligence and made the nib align perfectly so that when you hold it, it actually aligns with the paper perfectly, because with a faceted section that can be an issue. I love that. It has a piston filler, so it holds a lot of ink and it basically fills up the entire barrel from there, about there, to here. It's a lot of ink. I clocked at about 3.5 milliliters. It's a lot of ink. Remember, standard converter is about 0.9 milliliters, so it's a lot of ink, which, given that this is a broad number 8 nib, the number 8 doesn't matter, but the broad does. It's nice to have a good ink capacity. The way it caps is just solid. Everything lines up again. Like I said, I love the translucent material. I love being able to see part of the piston mechanism. It looks cool. It's well balanced. Everything is in exactly the proportions that I love. The craftsmanship is outstanding. What should be rounded is rounded. What should be crisp is crisp. These edges on the triangle are fantastic. They're not sharp, they're just beautiful. Pleasant to the touch. You won't cut yourself on them. Again, everything lines up. The piston turning knob, it lines up perfectly with the barrel. It's a master pen maker, and then that sort of thing happens. What do I like about it? Nothing. Sorry, what do I not like about it? Nothing. I like everything about it. It's perfect. This to me is a perfect pen. And I'm not just saying that to be nice. I can't put it down. I love it that much. It's perfect. So, thank you, William. Thank you very much. You made me a very, very happy man once again, because it's not the first time William then creates me something, and it's exactly what I wanted. So if you're looking for an interesting pen, not something small, right, but if you like something a bit larger, although he does make pens of different sizes, look up Titan Pens. Look at William Shakur on Instagram, contact him, tell him what you want. I'm not saying he does custom work for everyone, but I mean, he has a nice lineup of models. He can make dip nib holders. He can do a lot of different things. This to me is the next level of 3D printing, because this does not look 3D printed to me. It does not, like back in the day you had these kind of things, you would see all the layers. It's wonderful. The polishing is so good, you don't even notice it. So look him up, give him business if you're looking for something that you will actually absolutely love, and that's spectacular. That's a conversation piece. That's all I have to say. Sorry for the gushing. I just really love this pen. So sorry, I'm not gonna lie. Hope this was useful. Thanks again, William, and I'm glad to see you later. Bye.